Good morning and welcome back towards another video, and today we are going to be going over the Karazhan Trash Gold Farm. Let us begin. Hey, so today we are going to go over the Karazhan Trash Gold Farm, and this one is a little bit different than the regular gold farm for Karazhan. Well, what you're going to be wanting to do is pull up your loot appraiser and go jump into the actual instance. The thing to note for this particular farm is you do not take out any of the bosses this time. What you're going to be wanting to do for this particular gold farm is you're going to want to beeline it directly right as you go in towards Karazhan. The reasoning behind this is fairly straightforward, and that's because you want to gather up all of these mobs in this particular room. Now, you can always, if you want to gain more mobs for this run, then you can run upstairs and gather a load. However, I prefer to just make it quick and simple, as a lot of the time I don't really have an awful lot of time each and every day, and I find that this gold farm works quite well just as a nice little short gold farm, but there is the option for you guys to extend it just a little. What I do is I just run my way all the way around and then just gather up all of these mobs right here as well. I then run behind this post right here and make sure that all of the mobs pull in front of me so I can actually burn them down. Now, farming up this instance is fairly straightforward. It's fairly easy in order for me to do. However, taking out these mobs doesn't require a lot of mental capacity because it's mainly just standard gold farming for all these mobs. You will have to bear in mind that some of these mobs do cast flames, and they do like to stand still, just casting their fire every now and then because they're on a timer to cast their fire. However, once all of those mobs are taken out, all you have to do is just jump down this part here and then just run straight out of the actual instance. This will take you to the instance entrance where you can run out and reset the instance. As it so stands, you can do this roughly in around about 20 minutes if you do it in the short way I prefer to do, because I generally don't have an awful lot of time every single day to keep consistent. So this is a nice one to actually stay consistent because I can definitely spare 20 minutes just to run this raid. Now, the reason you actually farm this up is because you actually have a chance of gaining a wide variety of different types of BC transmog that sell for a ton of gold, along with a ton of different types of recipes, such as things like the Fellsteel Long Blade, and to be honest, a lot of the Fellsteel recipes can drop from this raid, and then the open world and then the world drops can actually drop from this. And generally speaking, I found that this to be one of the easiest and typically one of the best ones you can actually do. However, you can get unlucky with the RNG, so I'm not going to promise anything because it's Transmog Farm, generally speaking, and that means that you're going to be running the risk of RNGesus, which for everyone that knows, it can be in your favour and you can get something insanely good. Otherwise, you're basically just gambling with a little bit of time. We've just gained a nice little recipe for 2,319 gold, and a couple of months back I actually managed to get one of the epic recipes from these mobs, which I sold on about a month later for around about 120,000 gold, if I do say so myself. Now, some of these recipes do go even higher than that. However, that's my confirmed one that I can actually go off of recently. Beforehand, when it was in Shadowlands, I managed to get a recipe that I sold on for 250,000, but that was in Shadowlands and that was about 2 years ago, so I'm going to go with my current figure at this moment in time of 120,000. That being said, when it comes towards this gold farm, it's fairly easy in order to do. It's just by gathering up all these mobs, and I can even talk while doing this. Along with that, when it comes towards items of note, is the Blade of Wizardry. This has the same appearance as 𝐆𝐀𝐿𝐿𝐵's Blazing Longsword, and this works out quite well because most people will just buy up it just for the appearance, so to speak, as it's mainly a cheaper alternative than buying up 𝐆𝐀𝐿𝐵's Blazing Longsword, which you can obtain from the Silithus gold farm. Now, along with that, this gold farm is just generally very easy and simple and easier to do than most other TBC gold farms, and this is why I've actually covered it for today. Other than that, if you want any other additional gold making resources or video content, then please feel free to go over towards the Patreon. Other than that, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.